It's time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey guys, what's up? You're watching Up and Adam. My name's Adam Knoll. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm the guy bringing you guys the weekly interviews from your favorite celebrities and pop culture influencers. But for those of you who do know me, you know that that's not why we're always here, right? In fact, guys, tonight's one of those nights. Tonight, we're here to recap 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After. But before we do, guys, you know how this works. Make sure you like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel, wherever that button is. That way you don't miss any of our future interviews or pop culture content. All right, guys, let's get started with the first couple and my favorite couple, Angela and Michael. Wow. Okay, so I've gotten a lot of feedback from you guys, and you guys obviously just watched the episode, right? Angela and Michael, they're fighting because Michael's friends decided to take them on their joint bachelorette to a strip club. Obviously, they don't know Angela that well. So, guys, Angela and Michael are on this constant vicious pattern of just fighting, getting along. And you guys are fed up with the way that Angela treats Michael. You guys are telling me all the time that you can't bear to watch any more of it. But from Angela's standpoint, she's saying she feels like Michael's dishonest with her. She reacts because she feels like she's about to make a big decision and marry this man, which she is, and that she needs to trust him when she goes back to America. Okay, but trusting him, maybe not screaming at him. You know what I mean? So obviously Angela has her audience with her friend who flew in just to be a witness to this wedding. And we know that they got married because we're the fans, guys, and we know what's up, right? But what I thought was interesting was Michael trying to reconcile with Angela. He ended up using the colorful bouquet of flowers when they arrived to kind of be like, hey, and she shrugs, laughs it off a little bit, and she's like, listen, Michael, we can't keep doing this. You know what I mean? You can't keep saying that you're going to change. You got to show me some actions. You have to really change for me. Fast forward, we end up getting to the wedding and highly anxious, holy crap, Angela doesn't know if she wants to walk down the aisle. At this point, it's all of the what ifs. What ifs are playing in her head. What if they don't get the spousal visa? What if Michael doesn't get along with their family? What if her family doesn't like Michael? What if they can't have babies? What if? And it's just burning her up inside. What I do have to say, though, is I do have a lot of respect for the fact that Michael ended up saying to his friends, hey guys, listen, you shouldn't have brought me to a strip club. What were you guys thinking? It wasn't right. I have a lot of respect for my woman. This is going to be my wife. I love her. This is who I choose to be with. Michael ends up saying he's going to change his ways, and obviously Angela's waiting for him to do it because apparently Angela and Michael just got their own show. Guys, that's another conversation, but let's move on to the next couple. Guys, let's talk about Elizabeth and Andrei. So Chuck, Charlie, and Elizabeth's sister, actually the whole family, they're all trying to take out Andrei. Really, what they're trying to do is figure out why exactly Andrei left Moldova, why did he go to Ireland, and why did he leave the police force? So guys, it's simple. Well, to Andrei, it's simple. What Andrei is trying to say or explain is that, listen, over here, it's not the same. The police force is super corrupt, and I had an option. I could either be corrupt with them or I have to leave. But if I leave, I have to leave because what I know now, they're going to pin something on me and they're going to end up putting me in jail. So it's either I be corrupt with them or I end up going to jail. I don't know if Elizabeth's family is buying it. Chuck and Charlie, they don't really seem like they're buying it. They seem sketch. And Elizabeth seems super annoyed. She seems annoyed because she's acting like, what? We never had this conversation. What are you talking about? And Andrei's standing pretty clear in his conviction, like, no, Libby, we had this conversation. I explained this to you. She says that it's not the same story that he originally explained. I don't know which one to kind of go with, but at this point, Chuck and Charlie, everyone kind of just needs to back off. They have a baby. They've been married already. They're going to get married again. And Andrei's not going anywhere. He's obviously still with her all over her social media accounts, and they love each other. Just kind of back off at this point, guys. I know you guys don't like him, but again, Andrei's not going anywhere, and at this point, you should just want to see your daughter happy. All right, guys, let's move on to Kalani and Asuelu. Oh, the trip from HELL. Kalani and Asuelu went to Washington to go spend time with Asuelu's family. Asuelu's money-hungry family who wanted $1,000, and Kalani's like, no, we're not giving you $1,000. Asuelu doesn't even make $1,000 passing out yogurt. They have a family to feed, and you guys saw these episodes. It was just bad. Tammy lunged at Kalani, acting like she was going to give her those hands, and Kalani, like we said in my recaps, came ready. She had her hair up, she had no makeup on, and she's like, listen, Tammy, you want to go? We'll go. So at this point, pretty much Kalani's like, I'm done with this marriage. Asuelu, you have to grow up. After this trip, she doesn't think it's going to work anymore. She ends up calling her mom for advice. Lisa says, you need to get back to Utah. You need to talk with the therapist, and we need to kind of go from there because you can't make this hasty decision. So that's exactly what Kalani does. She ends up setting up a therapist after talking to Asuelu about how he feels seeking help. Asuelu was a little funny with this, though, because Asuelu has his demands. Asuelu doesn't want a white therapist. He wants someone who is a male and Samoan who will understand him and his point of view. Kalani's not for this backwards way of thinking. She's pretty much like, this is 2020. And where are we going to find a Samoan therapist in the small town of Utah? Probably not, unless Asuelu's going to get his degree, which right now you just got to get a real job, let alone a degree. We end up finding out even more, though, that Lisa feels Asuelu kind of sold Kalani on false dreams back over in Samoa, pretty much telling Kalani that once she was pregnant that he was going to come over to America, he was going to really work for his family and just step up to the plate, and he hasn't really delivered on any of those things. Lisa's obviously not a huge fan of Asuelu, and we know Kalani's dad's not a huge fan of Asuelu. But they do have a family, so I was happy to see that in the therapy session, Kalani's willing to put forth the work with Asuelu's family to make amends as long as everyone can mutually show respect. Kalani's, she's really level-headed. She's on it. I really like her. Asuelu, you need to step up to the plate. With that being said, guys, my insides are fluttering a little bit because let's move on to Colt and Jess. This is nuts. Jess is freaking out. 8 women. You're sending your pictures of your male. I don't even know what to call Colt's parts, but your parts to everybody. And you have Vanessa living in the 3rd room. Bomb dropped after bomb after bomb after bomb. And Jess ends up telling Colt, you're a great actor. Debbie tries walking away to her room to avoid this big catastrophe of a blow up, but she ends up coming back to save the day, or at least interject. They're going back and forth, and Colt admits, I haven't been the best boyfriend to you. He tries to explain, which you can't explain, sending pictures of your parts to 8 women in 1 month. And Debbie comes down to interject about Vanessa, saying, Vanessa's my friend too. It was hard times for Vanessa. She needed somewhere to stay. What's wrong with that? What don't you get? You can't be insecure. Debbie, we know exactly what you did. You set this up. You didn't like Jess, and you're pretty controlling. Their relationship is just a very codependent relationship. She drives him to and from work. They live in the same house. They share a bank account. And obviously she has a little bit of say-so as to who comes in and out of his life, i.e. his last divorce and just leaving. But Jess didn't just leave with a, goodbye, Colt, I'm done. No, she left with a, goodbye, Colt, I'm done. I'm going to go meet up with your ex-wife, and we're going to talk about how not well endowed you are. And that's exactly what they did. They put Colt on blast after meeting, and these two, they hit it off. Jess, I don't think at first thought she was going to hit it off with Larissa, but they did. They hit it off. They start talking about how Colt thinks that he's a player, whatever. They start naming off all these words like a pimp and all of this and how small he is. And then Jess ends up bringing up Vanessa. I didn't know this, but apparently Colt was talking to Vanessa back when he was married to Larissa. Vanessa ended up sending Colt a Groupon gift with a message back in the day, and Larissa knows exactly who Vanessa is. So they just cheers to moving on and on to bigger and better things, pun intended. But at the end of the day, Colt, you're not going to manipulate Jess or Larissa anymore, or at least that's what they say. All right, guys, let's move on to Tania and Syngin. Okay, so this couple is doomed. As Syngin's family says, as his best friends and former roommates, Andrew and James, as they say, it's just not going to happen. So let me tell you why. You guys saw the same episode. I love to say that, but it's true. I don't have to tell you exactly what happened, right? I'm just kind of talking about the points. Syngin's family, the point is, Syngin's family does not like Tanya. They don't feel like these fights that they keep having should be had in public. They don't feel like Tanya treats Syngin the best, and they don't feel like that she fully understands him and kind of who he is and how he wants to be. Pretty much a big Peter Pan, a big man-child, kind of like an Asuelu from South Africa. Syngin's mom even made a comment saying some people argue just to argue, and we know that comment was directed at Tanya. What was probably the biggest kaboom out of all of this was when James and Andrew got a hold of Tanya. So once Tanya started talking about the red flags and what she should have noticed back in the day when her and Syngin started meeting, James and Andrew were quick to say, hey, listen, you knew exactly who Syngin was. You knew what you were getting your hands into, and you were trying to change him. You wanted to manipulate or sell yourself on something that wasn't true. It simply wasn't true. Honestly, though, is Tanya so bad for doing that? She just wanted him to grow up and be a man, be a husband, be an adult. And James and Andrew, they just know their friend. They're like, listen, Peter Pan's not growing up. He just wants to go to the bar and hang out with the boys. At this point, I feel like Tanya knows that she has a lot to think about. She's crying. Everyone's upset. James and Andrew don't know why they're still together. And Syngin just wants a beer. So that's pretty much where we stand with them. Let's move on to the last couple. Guys, Paul and Karine. Paul scares me a little bit. I'm sorry, Paul. It's just the reactions. The reactions just make me a little bit nervous. So Karine doesn't want to be in America anymore. At this point, I don't know if she ever liked being in America, with Paul's family not really willing to help out and family being a huge part of Karine's life. This isn't going to work. Obviously, knowing what we know, knowing that Karine is already back in Brazil, pregnant again, and potentially not with Paul's child. After Karine ended up talking to the immigration lawyer, you could tell that Paul was a little flustered. He's like, I have to start making some decisions because Paul's not getting a job. His criminal record's not helping anything. He has the arson charge, and Karine's not happy. That was her big stipulation, is you need to get a job, Paul. You have to work. Paul's like, I'm trying. He tries doing everything to make America seem exciting to her, taking her to the market, taking her to a feces water facility, using his kid and Karine as collateral to try to get a job. It's one thing after another with this guy, but he finally won her over. He finally won Karine over by saying, listen, you want to go back to Brazil? We'll go back to Brazil, because you know that he doesn't want her to go back without him. Either that, or he just knows, if I stay here, I'm not going to have a job. I have nothing else going on, so I might as well go back to Brazil with you. I don't really know. The point is, Karine didn't get the American dream that Paul sold her on. But my biggest question is, did Karine come here open-minded? Did she really try? Because a lot of times it seems like she tries to walk off during the conversations. She doesn't want to really deal with a lot of the conflict. But again, we have to remember, from her perspective, there's a lot that we don't see with editing. There's a lot that we don't see behind the scenes. And Paul could be a totally different person when the cameras are shut off. So could Karine. We just really don't know the honest truth. So we have to go based off of what we get. All right, guys, with that being said, I can't wait until next week's episode. Holy cow, I'm sure it's not going to disappoint, especially after this one. If you haven't already, make sure you like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel, wherever that button is. That way you don't miss any of our future interviews or pop culture content. And guys, don't forget, we're going live tomorrow morning to recap this very same episode at 10 a.m. PST. That way you guys can call in, chime in, and give me your opinion, because I want to know what you guys think. See you then, except for you, Jolene. Bye, guys. Not you, Jolene. Bye.
Check us out every Monday and Wednesday. Thanks for watching Up and Adam.